If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Investigator Ed Opperman. This show is brought to you by Audible.com. That's right. You go to audibletrial.com/Opperman Report. You go there, you sign up for free, you get a free audiobook, and that helps support the show. I want to introduce a new partner to the show called truthfunders.com. And it's a brand new launch. It's just like a Kickstarter or GoFundMe, right? It's a brand new company. They're not even launched yet. I was introduced to these guys by Jimmy Church from Fade to Black. And so we're in there on the ground floor with these guys. They're going to be sponsoring the show. But they're here to help all of us, okay? All the different stations listening tonight, all the different hosts. This is the kind of company that they're funding paranormal investigators and UFO investigators and conspiracy investigators and 9/11 truthers, our kind of guys. They want to fund us. And so it's a brand new sponsor, brand new partner to the show that we're bringing in here. We're very excited to have. Now, tonight we're live on PSN Radio, Wolf Spirit Radio, Hazy Radio, AwakeRadio.us, AwakeRadio.uk, Shazaz Radio, and all this kind of stuff. We are not live tonight on CJ Mars Radio or 365 Live, okay? We've had a very sad to announce that our great friend, Cindy Jean-Pierre of CJ Mars Radio is not with us here tonight in the studio like she normally is. And I would ask everybody to extend your prayers for her and her family, okay? Now, we love you, CJ, and it's not the same here without you, okay? And this show is dedicated to you, my friend, to CJ Mars Radio, and we mourn with you for your horrible loss that you had this week. But you're definitely in our thoughts and prayers. You can guarantee you got that. Okay, then throughout the week, we're replayed on Para X Radio Saturday night, 7 p.m., Penny Entertainment Sunday mornings, Firehorse Radio, and Shake and Wake Radio during the evenings. Okay. Let's see, what else? Okay, real quick, I got another quick announcement. My kid, Victoria Maria Opperman, everybody knows her. She has the show called Teen Truth. It's on Shake and Wake Radio on Sunday afternoons, 1 o'clock. She got a huge guest. She picked up Leslie Marshall, okay, from the Leslie Marshall Show. Look at Pinckney smiling over there. Okay, we picked up Leslie Marshall. She's tonight she's on Hannity. Okay, she's a guest on Sean Hannity tonight, Leslie Marshall, and she was a guest on My Daughter Monday afternoon. Okay, so that'll show you the kind of guests my daughter's pulling, man, all right? She works for U.S. News and World Report, and she's a Fox News commentator, and she's there busting chops with good old Hannity. Sean Hannity. Okay, now tonight, we got a couple of big guests. We got Sara Jane Woodall. Okay, she's an incredible artist and a model, a creative writer and blogger. She's a creative genius, in my opinion, and she's also a really fun person. So tonight we're going to get to meet her. We're going to get to know her. Her website is called Wonderhussy.com. That's WONDERHUSSY.com. So go pull it up now and start checking out our articles and her pictures and stuff like that. But before we get to that, I got great news for all you guys, all you regular listeners, and that is we have with us tonight the Reverend Pinckney, and he's here with good news for us. He has a big announcement and got a big smile on his face, man. God bless you, Reverend. Tell us what's going on, man. Go.
Well, this is like breaking news. On December the 15th, I will be going to court to be sentenced. And let me tell a little bit, because as you know, they surrounded my house.
Right.
SWAT team. for a recall petition. And they also found me guilty of forging dates, changing dates on a recall petition, which they knew was impossible. And they found me guilty with absolutely no evidence at all. But here's what we have now. During when the jury was deliberating, one of the young men came in and saw one of the jurors, and he wanted to know, why is she on the jury? Say she's a friend of this lady named Sharon Tyler, and she had no business on the jury. So I didn't really pay any attention to that because we couldn't prove it that they were friends. So before the day was over, another young lady walked up to me and said almost the same identical thing.
Wait, they're friends with that same person?
Yeah, she said, the first thing she said, did you know that Gail Freeland and Sharon Tyler are friends? And once again, I said, well, we can't prove it. She said, yes, you can. They are Facebook friends also. My eyes lit up. I was excited then because I couldn't wait to get home and find out whether they were actually Facebook friends. So when I go home, I go on the internet and discover that they're actually Facebook friends. So here's how we got there. The prosecutor asked the jury, do you know any of the witnesses? And he read off the list. He read the name Sharon Tyler, and the jury was silent. Then my attorney got up and read the name Sharon Tyler, and then once again she was silent. She said, now they asked her again, are you sure you don't know any of these witnesses? She said no. Nobody said nothing. So the judge said, I'm going to take that as a no. So then my attorney gets up and he said, do any of y'all know Sharon Tyler? The reason why, because she was supposed to be their key witness, but she didn't have bring nothing really to the table. But he said, no, are you connected to her any kind of way? So it rung a bell to me because they kept asking him, and everybody kept saying that Gail Freeland and Sharon Tyler are friends. So I go home and, like I said, and check it and find out they're friends on Facebook. So I need to get more evidence. I just can't use that.
Well,
so,
wait a second, Rev. This was during the trial.
It was after they had found me guilty. Right after they found me guilty.
Now, did you have an investigator go to Facebook and pull down those pages and document and save all that evidence and preserve it?
I didn't get it, but we did preserve. We did take pictures. We did pull it down, and we did put it in the file, and it is included in the brief. Also included in what I sent you also. Okay.
Yeah, I only read that first document you sent me because there was like 4 or 5 of them.
So the exhibits is in the back of it, I believe.
Okay.
So we took a picture of Gail Freeland and Sharon Tyler on Gail Freeland Facebook. Then we went to Sharon Tyler Facebook and did pretty much the same thing. So that way we covered both angles. And then what we did, we kept going. We discovered that Sharon Tyler also was involved with them on Flag Day since 2010. Now I'm in total shock now. We talk about 4 years that every single year she's involved with the parade. And she didn't mention it. There was one guy that was on the jury. She said she knew him from the parade, but she didn't mention that she knew Sharon Tyler from the parade. And then it gets better. At all the events at Blossom Time, Sharon Tyler was always there with with Gail Freeland. They was always connected. But it gets even better. Gail Freeland and the undersheriff daughter was Facebook friends. And we asked her specifically, do you have any contact with law enforcement? Once again, she was silent. the undersheriff and the sheriff are both on the board of Blossom Time, which she is part of. And during this flag day, more than 13 law enforcement agents are part of the parade that she never told us about. And it goes on and on and on how she got to be this. All she had to do was say, I know these guys from my parade, like she did this one guy, but she failed to do so. So now what we're doing, we're saying that you have been untruthful. You have lied.
This is one of the jurors.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have lied under oath, and you didn't give the information you should. And if we would have known that you were a Facebook friend, or that Sharon Tyler was in your Flag Day parade from 2010 up to the present, or that she was part of that Blossom Time, she would have never been on the jury. Also, if we had known that you was connected to the undersheriff's daughter and the undersheriff and the law enforcement for the last 10 years, you would have never been on that jury. So what we have here is a person who was desperate to be on the jury, willing to lie, so she can help her friend Sharon Tyler out convict me. And I think that it's going to be a bombshell. We already filed it. They're scrambling right now. They're trying to figure a way how to get around this. But we don't see how, unless they just don't hear the case at all. Unless they may try to do that, which I don't think it would be done. But you never know, especially with so much publicity that's going on about the case. But I never give up. I never quit. I continue to fight because I know we can win if we fight. We can't win if we don't fight.
Oh, I agree with you on that. Now, what about your sentencing was supposed to be December 14th. Did we get that postponed?
13th. December 13th.
Just tomorrow?
Monday.
Today's not the 12th?
No, the day is the 11th. Oh, the day is... Oh, I'm sorry, the 15th.
I think they got a warrant out for you, brother.
I'm glad you yeah, you're right. It's the 15th. And, but listen.
Yeah.
You see, the biggest thing, there was a black guy who almost got, well, he wasn't going to get on the jury. It was impossible for him to be on the jury. But they quizzed him for 2 days because he said that 20 years ago, he said hi to me for 5 seconds.
Oh,
Can you believe that? 20 years ago. And they drilled him for 2 days. And now this girl is Facebook friends not only with Sharon Tyler, the clerk, but she's also a Facebook friend with the undersheriff's daughter. I think they got a mountain to climb.
Okay.
I'm more than happy to see this. And, I just wish that I even more. I know there's a lot of other things that's actually going on. I wish that I could, that I can just find out more about them. But I'm more than 7. And also, we're also investigating 4 other juror members that we believe that, was planning on the jury also. We don't really have the connection. I'm just listening to people call me and tell me stuff. Well, like I said, you can't call me and tell me unless you can produce the evidence. Because they're not going to even listen to me if I don't have evidence to support what I'm saying. Absolutely.
Okay. Now your sentencing is Monday, right?
That is correct.
Are we getting a postponement on that?
That's what we're shooting for.
Okay, so
we're going to have to be there, and we got to have a hearing,
right,
in reference to the jury issue, and plus the direct verdict, because there was absolutely no evidence that could have convicted me.
Right.
So those are the main. Those are the issues. Also, we brought up this Hall case where what they did, they overcharged. There's no such charge as forgery on a recall petition. There's no such charge.
Just to clarify the charges, these original charges are basically you had a clipboard and people were signing their name on a petition, and a couple of people signed their name twice, and they want to send you're 66 years old, they want to send you to prison for 7 years on that. Maybe 20 years.
Yeah. That's if they can do it and get away with it.
Right.
So it's all designed to try to silence me any way they can. And I'm not having it. I'm not having it.
I hear you, brother. Now, let me ask you this. You see these cases, Mike Brown, Eric Garner, even these little kids that they're shooting down in the street. This little kid
in Cleveland.
In Cleveland, right. The young boy in Cleveland, 12 years old. Are you afraid that they could try and come after you and pull something like that?
Absolutely. I think when they came to my home, that was their intention.
Right.
When they brought the SWAT team to my home. You don't need 35 and 40 law enforcement agents to come to my home. You could call me on the phone. You could have called me on the phone, and I would have came in and surrendered. I would, you don't need that much firepower for me and driving all over the city looking for me. That is not necessary. You see, so their intention was to do great bodily harm to me any way they could. And fortunate for me, I was not home. Unfortunate for them because it made them look stupid as usual.
Yeah, I know. It's not like you're a stranger to going to court, man. It's not like, you send a warrant out for Reverend Pinckney. He shows up. There's like an invitation to dinner with the Reverend, right?
Right, absolutely. And they know that. If they would have sent the warrant out for me, I would have met them at court,
Yeah.
Which I did the very next day. I arrived at the courthouse myself. They didn't have to come out and get me. They didn't have to call me. All you have to do is say that you got a warrant for my arrest. I'm coming in. So that's really what it adds up. But what the bad part about this is that it gives the new president now that you don't need evidence now to send a man completely to jail. But Eric Gardner and Mike Brown and the young man from Rice from Cleveland, they all ruled a homicide. They all had evidence, but yet still they all got off.
Yeah, that's right. They got a video of this guy strangling this man to death. They got a video of it. Well, the one, by the way, too, it was ruled a homicide, the shooting of the young boy in Cleveland. So we may be able to win that one. But they got a video of a man being strangled to death, and he walks away without spending a day in jail. And then we got Reverend Pinckney holding a clipboard. They want to give him 7 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that's what we're fighting about, where the justice kicked in. We have to show these people that we're serious about what we're doing because they believe that they can do whatever they want to do, don't matter what.
Now, have you been organizing up there for
absolutely.
Mike Brown and that kind of stuff?
Absolutely. We've been organizing, getting people together, letting them know how serious it is, and hands up, don't shoot, Black Lives Matters, I can't breathe, the whole works. We've been out here doing things, showing the people that we have to be out here in the streets. We have to be, whether they like it or not.
Now, what about people want to support you? What can we do?
You can go to bhbanco.org. I have a PayPal there, and those of you and we definitely need funds, especially for this appeal. We got to get ourselves organized so we can do this. Also, you can either mail a check to Banco, B-A-N-C-O, 1940 Union Avenue, Benton Harbor, Michigan, 49022, or you can call me at 269-925-0001. And don't forget, bhbanco.org. You also get information on there. They got a tremendous article about on my website, Truth Out, which is a tremendous article. It tells the story. It tells about things that you never thought that was happening here in America. But I always tell people only in America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. So you can put your life on the line here and deal with these people, because that's really what it's all about.
Yeah, you hope so, man. So you're feeling confident, though. You seem really confident this time talking to you.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very confident, because even for some reason, if it doesn't turn out the way I'm thinking it's going to turn out, it's definitely going to give them a black eye. And then what I want to do, we want to start boycotting. See, St. Joseph, Michigan is a tourist area, which they want to convert Benton area. We want to set up a boycott of St. Joe, and in case they try to bring the PGA here, we want to contact the golfers and tell them make sure they don't come here. Let them know what we're up against.
Gotcha. All right, man. Okay, we only got a couple of minutes. What do you want to leave us with, brother?
Hey, I just want to leave everybody with that. We're going to win this war at the end, because it's more of us than them.
Right.
And those of you who are out there, remember this. It's more of us than them, and we can win this war. But we got to learn to fight together. We can't let them divide us up, because that's how they win this war. But we got to fight together. Also, those of you who are out there, please, we do need resources. So go to bhbanco.org. There's a PayPal there. And maybe, whatever you can afford to give will definitely be appreciated. And Ed, I want to thank you so much for having me. And I'm going to probably be talking to you for a short minute, let you know how things turned out next week. Okay. And I got a good feeling about this.
Reverend, I want to thank you for contacting me this afternoon when you had the good news, okay? And if any time you need to get on the air, okay, you want to make an announcement, I'll get you. I'll get you on the air. If I'm not here, I'll get you someplace. Okay, so you got something to say, man.
Absolutely.
You let me know.
That's a beautiful thought. Get me on the air so I can tell the world about what's going on.
Well, not a week goes by I don't get an email or a question in the chat room. Hey, how's the Reverend doing? What's going on with the Reverend? So people do care about you.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I know, man.
Just let them know that we're going to win at the end. We got them just what we want.
Okay, amen. And you're right. And you're right, man. There's more of us than them. We got to get this into our heads.
Right. And the more we get it in our heads, the better it is. And we got to spread the word. See, another thing we got to do, we teach them a lesson by boycotting.
Right.
See, if we keep our money in our pocket, that'll hurt them more than anything else. That's the way to hurt them. Like St. Joseph, Michigan is a tourist area. If we could shut them down every summer, they will start thinking differently.
Because now they're doing the same thing to you. They're shutting people's water off, and then they condemn their homes, and the cities take over the homes.
That's right. And if your children, they'll DHS come in and take your children.
Right. So it's a huge... a huge land grab and a money grab and a going after the people grab over there in Michigan. But thank God we have people like Reverend Pinckney who's putting his butt on the line in front of the tanks, in front of the cops, in front of the judges. Hey, what about contacting the judge? You want us to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. His name is Judge Schrock. Schrock. First name is Sterling. The location is 811 Port, P-O-R-T, Street, St. Joseph, Michigan, 49085. And his fax number is 269-983-3604. That's 269-983-3604. And the message we want to give out, how do you convict someone with absolutely no evidence?
And at the same time, you could strangle a man and get away with it on camera.
Right.
That's what we're living.
How do that work? You have evidence that you did it. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
only in America.
Only in America. Well, maybe we could turn this around, man, before both of us are in our graves,
Absolutely.
All right, brother. Okay, listen, thank you for coming on.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Keep me updated on what's going on, brother.
I will. That's a promise.
Good night. Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, brother. Okay, so there was the Reverend Pinckney. Had some good news, man. He was in good spirits. I'm really glad to hear that. Thank God for that, man. Because he's a man 66 years old. JP, you can get the commercial ready. Just let me know when you're ready to play it. And we got 66 years old, and they want to give this man a life sentence. Basically, the charge is he had a clipboard in his hand, and I think 4 people signed the clipboard more than one time. and they want to take him and put him in prison, give him a life sentence, okay? Now, we're going to be right back after this with Sara Jane Woodall, who's this beautiful performance artist. She's a model. She's a writer, a photographer. Incredible, brilliant work from this woman. You can go to her website, Wonderhussy.com. Wonder, WONDER, HUSSY.com. Check out her work. We're going to be having her. And then after that, we're probably going to take some phone calls from the audience. I think we're going to have some extra time tonight, and I might even tell my John Lennon story since it's just about the anniversary of John Lennon's assassination. And I didn't get a chance to do any John Lennon shows this go-round. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back after all of this.
This is Wolf Spirit Radio.
Ho, ho, Merry Christmas. Hey, guys, this is Ed Opperman from the Opperman Report, coming to you from the North Pole, and we are wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from our family to your family. We hope and pray you all have a happy, safe, fun-filled holiday season and a blessed New Year. Ho, ho, ho! 239-8546. 239-8546.
Ready?
Don't forget good old Amanda at Pacific.
You're back on the air, Ed.
Okay. All right. Well, we're back. We're back on the air, Ed. Okay, we're going to bring on our next guest, good old Sara Jane Woodall. Let me pull her in here, and we're going to hear the phone ring. Sara is the owner of Wonderhussy.com, and tells all the stories of her adventures traveling around the different hot springs and events, Burning Man, all this kind of wonderful stuff. She's always up to something, and I've been dying to get her on the show. But, we had Catherine McDonald, the wife of Jeffrey McDonald, booked tonight, but she got into a car accident, and so it turned out we couldn't get her in here. So thank God Sara was available. She just went on this long drive from Southern California up to her parents' house up there in, what do you call that, Humboldt? Humboldt County, California, which I think is her area of her youth. Hey, Sara, you on? No? Okay, I'm waiting for Sara to connect here. Next week, we got a big deal coming on, too. We got this guy, William Zabel, and his deal is he's an expert on the Columbine story back from about 10, 12 years ago. And he's pretty much been off the map, hasn't been doing any interviews or anything for quite a while. But we got him coming on. He hasn't done a show in a long time. And there's going to be some really new information coming out of William Zabel because there's some little twists and turns in the case. I can corroborate a lot of the stuff he's talking to you about because I've met other investigators that were working on the lawsuit in that case and stuff like that over the years. You meet people at conventions and stuff like that. You start talking about, hey, what big cases have you worked on? Oh, Sara. You back? Nope, we didn't get Sara yet. We're still trying to connect to good old Sara Jane Woodall. And having trouble making this connection here, but we'll keep trying. But I can corroborate a lot of William Zabel's information. And the thing is, I think everybody can agree that there was more than the two shooters at Columbine. Now, William goes on to say he thinks that there may have been 10, 20 people involved in this conspiracy. And it's not that far off. I tell you, there's a lot of information about this that I think that we can agree with. And this guy, you just start looking him up. William Zabel, there's only a couple interviews out there. There's nothing on YouTube. You got to really look for it. There's some archived interviews on him there, but not that many. Really nothing on YouTube. So we're going to be bringing that on. And it just turns out it's a small world because we know a lot of the same people. Okay, while we're waiting for good old Sara to connect, let's see what's going on. Oh, Sarah? Still
No,
not yet?
She's not connecting yet, so she's just bubbling away. If you'd like me to put a tune on right now, I can, but I'm sure you have plenty of stories.
Yeah, okay. Let me just keep trying to pull in Sarah, and I'll just tell some stories. I was going to mention some stuff. You can always find the Opperman Report archives on the Opperman Report YouTube channel. And then we're also on Spreaker.com and iHeartRadio. So you can find our archives in any of those locations over there, if you're really interested in what we're talking about here and you want to hear some of the old shows. After William Z. Bell, coming up after that, we have Neil Sanders, who's a young guy. He's from the UK or Ireland or something like that. He's a friend of Thomas Sheridan's. And I got put in touch with him, and he's done all this work on mind control. So that's what we got coming up so far. We got William Zabel next week, Neil Sanders the week after that. Coming up in January, we got Jim Rothstein, the mayor up there in Wisconsin, coming back with all his information about the Process Church and the Son of Sam investigation and all that kind of stuff. We have him coming back. Then we have Peter Dale Scott, who is an old-time professor and has all kinds of, the other kind of social justice and stuff that we kind of do. And he has all stuff about the banking scandals and all that kind of stuff. So we have him coming on in January as well. So that's all our stuff we have coming up in the new year. See if we can get a hold of Sarah Jane Woodall here. Hey, for all the new stations out there, PSN Radio tonight is we're having some technical trouble. I don't think we're playing over there, but we're on Wolf Spirit tonight for the first time ever. I was a guest on there with Phil Corso.
Dave Corso.
Dave Corso.
Phil Corso was the Roswell guy.
Right. So about 2 years ago, I was on there with Dave Corso, and but I haven't been back there as a guest or anything like that. But tonight they started putting us on. We're on the schedule over there, so I hoped we could keep staying on there. But for people who don't know me, I'm a private investigator and a digital forensic investigator. I've been involved in a lot of big cases over the years. In fact, I was involved in a congressional investigation and a congressional hearing into the Secret Service misbehavior in Colombia a couple of years back, and how I got involved in that because my client, Shelley Tripp, had come to me. She was involved in this case in Alaska where she was working as a prostitute, and she was arrested for prostitution. And when they arrested her, the FBI and Customs and DHS and FBI, all this stuff like that, came rushing into her little apartment there to bust her on this Craigslist ad that she was running a little massage parlor out of her apartment there in Alaska. And when they busted her, they said, hey, we know you're involved with all these famous people, these powerful politicians. We want to interrogate you on all this stuff. They were talking about Todd Palin, okay? According to Shelley Tripp, my client up there, that she was having a relationship with Todd Palin, and that Todd Palin was sending clients over to her, and then she would have sex with these clients, document the activity with these clients, and then report back to Todd Palin for whatever purpose. There was even some suspicion that there was recording going on and stuff like that. So she had this case. She sold her story to the National Enquirer trying to raise some money. And what happened is the police chief over there in Anchorage, Alaska, puts out a press release and says, hey, you know what? We investigated all this stuff. We investigated all these accusations about Todd Palin and all this stuff, and we've concluded that there is no evidence to connect her to Todd Palin. Okay, fine. So when the National Enquirer hears about that, they say, well, listen, we're not going to pay you the $50,000 we promised you. Okay, so right away she hires me to come in this case and prove, some facts here, look at some digital evidence, and create some exhibits for her for court in her case against the National Enquirer. That's how I got involved in this. No one was helping this woman when I got involved with her. No one would help her. No one would touch her case. She had no representation whatsoever. I was a nervous wreck getting involved in it, but, we talked about it and we did get involved. Now, what happened is the first thing we found out is that the police chief who put out this wonderful press release claiming that he had done all this investigation on her computer and her cell phone and her, her Rolodex and all her paperwork, because they took everything out of her house. the first thing we found out is that he didn't do any investigation. And as a matter of fact, we got him to admit that Sarah Palin's attorney wrote that press release, and he put it out on his stationery from the Anchorage Police Department. That was the first thing we found out. Okay, so we catch him in a big red lie on that one, right? And then as time went on, we were having trouble getting her evidence out of the Anchorage Police Department's storage facility over there. They wouldn't turn it over to us. We had to get the court order to get them to preserve all her evidence and turn it over to us. Despite that, they wouldn't turn it over to us. And then when they finally did, they said that, oh, no, we accidentally destroyed all this evidence, so we cannot turn it over to you. So ultimately, we were able to get some evidence out of them, and we were able to examine that evidence. The same exact day that the package came with a USB drive and some evidence of some emails, a cell phone, the Rolodex, and all that kind of equipment, the same day that stuff arrived at my post office box, and by the way, there was a little pinhole hole in the envelope where you could stick a little pinhole camera in there and poke around and look around inside. Okay, now I would get a lot of mail, and we never had that happen before at that time. Now, since then, it's happening all the time. Okay, ever since we bucked heads with the Secret Service in that case, and, you know, bucked heads with Sarah Palin, my mail's getting attacked all the time now, and I got a whole bunch of pictures and stuff like that and evidence on my Facebook page. You can look up my Facebook page at Opperman Facebook. Oh, hey, you know what? Sarah wants us to call her. Okay, let's try calling her up on the phone. Let's try it that way there. I'm not getting through to Sarah. There's more than one way to skin a goat there. And we'll get through to her. But the same day I received that evidence in my locker, what do you call it? Sarah Palin went on the Sean Hannity show and said that she wasn't going to run for president. Okay, let's see if we can get a hold of
Hello?
Sarah Jane Woodall.
Yes, hi.
How are you? Hey, I've been trying to Skype you. I couldn't get through.
Well, I don't know what the problem is. I'm sitting here waiting for you, but anyways.
Okay, all right. Well, we got through. So now, Sarah, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, okay? Because I know you were an art student and all that kind of stuff, and then we'll get into all your Wonderhussy and all your adventures.
Well, I'm just a directionless American fool, I guess you could say. I was raised on promises in Hollywood and Aaron spelling, and the older I got, the more I realized life is nothing like an Aaron spelling drama, and I was disappointed. But I didn't stop trying to make my life glamorous and exciting. So after I got my art degree, I moved to Las Vegas, thinking that would be a place to have an interesting life. And it has been that thus far.
Absolutely. Where did you get your art degree?
I went to San Jose State University in the Silicon Valley, California, Bay Area. Okay. And
you grew up in Humboldt, California, right?
No, I was an Army brat. I was born in the Bay Area. I grew up in Germany, and at the time it was called West Germany. And then back to California, Bay Area. I've never lived as far north as Humboldt.
Okay, but you're in Humboldt right now. That's where your mom lives?
I'm in about an hour and a half north of San Francisco, not quite as far north as Humboldt.
Okay. Okay, so now, yeah, you kind of, you like to play yourself as kind of like this kind of but you are an art graduate, okay?
Oh, yeah, I definitely have an artistic temperament and a good aesthetic, yes. I am an artsy person.
Yeah, I would say you're a creative genius.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't ever want to call myself a genius, but I guess I'm kind of creative, sure.
Yeah, I know you don't. I know you don't. But I got to tell you, man, people really have to look at your work on Wonderhussy.com. And it's not just your photography and your modeling and your performance art, okay? But it's your writing as well.
Thank you.
Oh, no, dude, I'm a huge fan. You know I'm a huge fan. And I'm not gonna. I know you.
I wouldn't be on your show if you weren't.
And I know you like to come off as kind of like, oh yeah, shucks, I'm a goof, but you really are a genius, okay, in so many ways. And I hope people really appreciate this. But now you started writing you were writing for your blog first. You write these articles, these short stories.
Mm-hmm.
Then you started writing.
Yes,
what was it? Las Vegas Weekly.
Well, so I've always just enjoyed writing, but I was just toiling away in obscurity, writing for my own pleasure. Of all things, I started writing on Yelp, the user reviews website.
Okay.
I'm a big Yelper. And I somehow made friends with some professional writers on Yelp. They were reading my reviews. Oh, wow, you're a really good writer, blah, blah. So I fell in with some people from the local Las Vegas media, and it was just kind of like one of those things where I was in the right place at the right time, I guess. Like, I had no professional writing experience whatsoever, just a bunch of yelping and blogging. But at this time, the publisher of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, which is the local paper in Vegas, a very conservative paper, oddly enough, you'd think that Sin City would have, more liberal media. No. The Las Vegas Review-Journal is run by Stevens Media, which is based in Little Rock, Arkansas, and is a very conservative paper. But at the time, they had a very progressive publisher who was more a libertarian type, and he thought it would behoove the Review Journal if they would start a website that was like a guide to adult Las Vegas. Like all the things people want to know about Las Vegas, but can't really find that information anywhere. Like, how does it work at a strip club? What are the protocols, the rules, the laws regarding prostitution and whatnot? So the Review Journal thought it would be cool if they started up a website where people could go read all the ins and outs of the seedy side of Vegas. But this being the Review Journal and being owned by conservative Stevens Media, they didn't come across as being too seedy. So they thought, we'll get a woman to run it. It'll be cute. It won't be seedy, blah, blah, blah. So that's where I came in. Like, I had no writing experience whatsoever. I just happened to meet somebody from the Review Journal right around that time, and because I had a background doing some kind of weird stuff around town, they hired me to run that website for them. So I did that for a year. That was my first writing job, and it kind of parlayed that into, I wrote a column for one of the papers after that and assorted other things. But that's how it started, man. Yelp.
Okay, but you got kicked off of Yelp for a while, right?
No, I've never kicked off. I've had certain of my reviews censored because, and this is why I suck and will never succeed in mainstream media. I tell it like it is. I don't like to kiss, but I like to call a spade, and I just have been a little bit too blunt, I guess, and said some pretty obscene things on Yelp. So there was a few times where they censored my reviews. They never kicked me off now.
Okay, now you also write articles or short stories, I guess, like stories of your adventures. What do you call those? Articles? Stories?
It's just a blog. I keep a blog about my wacky life and my crazy adventures. I like to write, and I do have a lot of, thought-provoking kind of cool things to say, but I feel like at the same time no one likes to read anymore. This is 2014. People don't read. It's almost 2015. So I have a blog that, I can write myself, but I also post a lot of nudies, naked pictures of myself, and that gets the page hits. So it's sort of like a little bit of everything, something for everyone, I guess.
Okay, now, recently, you wrote an article called, I'm paraphrasing, but it was something along the lines of Broken Tail Light, Broken Heart.
Oh, yes, I remember it well. It was this past July. I didn't think for a minute. July. It was called A Busted Tailgate and a Broken Heart. Yeah.
Right. I can tell you something, man. That was beautiful. Thank
you. I got a lot of positive feedback about that. Just so that anyone who's listening knows, I had this experience with this traveling musician that I met up with at some hot springs in the desert, and we kind of had this weird, romantic interlude, but then he blew me off, in a pretty harsh way, I guess. So that blog was me just laying it all out. Everyone's pretty vulnerable about their emotions, myself probably more so than most people. I always kind of keep a brash front up on my blog, I'm just a badass and I go around and have fun and blah, 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 I don't care. But in this blog, I was very honest about my feelings, and it seemed to really strike a chord in people. I got a lot of feedback about that. People thought it was great. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Ed.
No, really, man. You bared your soul in a really, a really creative
Thank you. I found it to be very therapeutic, actually. I feel like, I don't know, for me personally, if something happens to me that makes me sad or upset, like if I talk about it with people, that makes me feel better. So by writing about it, all my readers, I have like a, kind of like a readership that follows me. It's like telling all those people about it. It made me feel better, So in a weird way, I guess, sometimes just putting it on blast is the best way for me.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, you manage, you seem to have like a really great lifestyle, like traveling around. And you work for like a month, and then you go traveling around, and you go on little road trips.
Listen, I got off a trip. I went back to Vegas. I worked for 3 days, and then I'm back on a trip again. So sometimes it's not even a month. I just went into town for 3 days, and I made $1,100, which I have a very cheap lifestyle to maintain. So $1,100 was good for me for a while. And so now I'm probably just going to goof off till after New Year's. Okay, and tell them, I know one of the ways you made that $1,100. Can you describe how you made the $1,100? Well, the majority of it was from 2 different gigs. One, I worked a Sony PlayStation event. It's like a convention for people who play video games. Yeah. PlayStation games. So they had all these characters from all the video games. They needed people to wear these character costumes. And that type of work actually pays pretty well. So I did 2 days wearing this weird video game costume, stumbling around the convention center. But then I also made some of the money wrestling. I did this, it was kind of like a fetish wrestling website. Right. Like a fantasy wrestling thing. But, I went into it pretty much knowing what I was in for. They were going to pit me against 3 women. And now I'm 5'3", 110 pounds. I'm really petite. But I knew that I was going to be pitted against much bigger women that are, semi-professional wrestlers. So these girls were 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", big, strong girls. One of them was an MMA fighter. Well, I knew I went in it knowing what I was in for. But, they were told as well, okay, this girl doesn't wrestle, she's not a pro, just go easy on her, but, make it look good. Man, by the end of the 3rd match, it was only 3 15-minute wrestling matches, right? I made $100 per match. So, right on. Continually, I can make $300 in 45 minutes, right? 15, 15, 15. The first match, I wrestled this chick called Daisy Ducati. It's a really pretty black girl from San Francisco. She was cool, she was waiting easy on me, but she did, pinned me, did this, did that. 15 minutes went by, no sweat. Okay, then I got a break. Second match, I wrestled this MMA fighter. I can't remember what her name was, Mika or something. She was cool, but she was very strong, and she, I guess, was going easy on me, but I started to feel a few dents and dings and bruises. All right, made it through that one. Now it's time for the 3rd match, where I wrestled this chick, Jolene the Valkyrie. And she's a beautiful local Las Vegas model. She does a lot of fetish modeling around Vegas, but I had never met her before. We're friends on Facebook, social media, but we had never met in person. So, hey, so nice to meet you. Well, out of all 3 of them, I thought that would be the easiest match. It was the worst. I don't know if it was because I was tired out from the other 2 matches, but, man, this girl, she didn't look that strong. She's tall and thin, but she was so powerful. She got me between her legs and scissored my rib cage so badly that my rib still hurts. I thought at first I might have fractured it and just bruised. Oh my God, it was horrible. I was bleeding. I got scratch marks on my neck. My makeup completely melted off my face. I looked like a wreck when I got out of that wrestling thing. It was horrible. I'll never do it again because it made me realize, my body is my livelihood. If I can't walk, then I can't make any money or have any fun. So, okay, I made $300 wrestling. Is $300 really worth it? No, it's not. So from now on, I am hereby announcing my retirement from the wrestling world. Oh, that's too bad, because I was going to challenge you tonight. Okay. Well, I have done mud wrestling at Treasure Island in Vegas. They have a mud wrestling night at Gillies, at country western club. That's totally hard because it's only a 3-minute round. It's more cutesy and fun. You're wrestling around in mud. That I might do again, but this kind of fantasy wrestling, never again. Oh, boy. Okay. Now, sorry, Ed. Sorry to burst your bubble. I'm taking you on. No, but another cool thing, though, is that right after you do this gig and you get the crap beat out of you, the first thing you do is you take a picture of yourself, and you're right. I did. You looked really beat up. Well, I was beat up, and one of my big things that I'm passionate about is radical transparency. And that's you've seen all these things on Facebook about Facebook's going to share your information and you got to do this and make your profile private and blah, blah. I don't care. I live my life by the principle of radical transparency, which is to have no secrets. I put everything on blast, including an unflattering photo of myself after I've had the crap kicked out of me wrestling. So yes, I did post a picture of myself on Facebook looking horrible. I think people felt sorry for me. I don't know. It's kind of pathetic in a way, but I am never above posting a bad picture on Facebook.
Yeah, that's true. That's really cool. And even your little trip you just took today, you take a picture of yourself eating breakfast in this weird place. And
oh, yeah. I was in Bakersfield this morning having breakfast at a diner on Buck Owens Boulevard. It was amazing.
Who goes with you on these trips?
I was with my sister, actually. So my sister had this really high-powered job and a really nice life, married, beautiful house in the Bay Area, but she wasn't happy. She's younger than me. She's 18 months younger than me. She always saw me living my crazy life, and sure, I'm not making a lot of money, but I'm having a lot of fun. Yeah. And I think she sort of felt like she was missing out. So, by golly, my sister quit her job and divorced her husband and moved out. Now she travels around with me on occasion. So she and I just went camping in the Mojave Desert by some sand dunes. We camped out for a few days. Then we went down to some hot springs in Southern California, and then we just drove back up through Bakersfield, which is why I was there this morning. Drove back up to Northern California, which is where I am now in the forest.
Now, when you do that's just incredible. You're in the desert in the morning and the forest at night. Now, but let me ask you a question. Now, when she's taking these pictures, she's a good photographer as well.
Well, I'll tell her you said that.
But how come there's no pictures of her? It always looks like you're taking these trips on your own, all by yourself.
Well, I don't always travel with my sister. I travel with many people. And to be honest, a lot of people that I go places with, and they invite me, but then they go, don't put this in your blog, don't show me in your blog. It kind of hurts my feelings. A lot of people are embarrassed to be seen or associated with me. So that's not the case with my sister. My sister is just more, I don't know, she doesn't like to have her picture blasted all over the place. And I respect that because I have a lot of weirdos who read my blog and look on my Facebook. So if my sister doesn't want to be shown, that's fine with me. But it has happened to me before in the past where people explicitly ask me not to show them on their blog, and it's like, on my blog, well, really, then why are you hanging out with me if you're so friggin' embarrassed to be seen or associated with me? There's a irk thief, you might say.
Hey, what about that trip you took? It was like a music video where this guy looked like Popeye and had all these muscles.
Oh, my God. So there's this wonderful place in the desert, right? It's in the Mojave Desert. Right around 29 Palms, if you know where that is, big marine base down by Palm Springs. Well, it's this no man's land desert. Nothing. Wasteland. They use it to train these guys for Afghanistan, combat in Afghanistan. So it's this barren expanse. It's called Wonder Valley. But I just think it's the greatest name.
Wonder Valley, right?
Well, no, but I wish they had. But, it's just a bunch of scattered little ranches, and there's this weird little bar and grill right out in the middle of it called the Palms Restaurant. And it's like the Mos Eisley Cantina from Star Wars. If you remember in Star Wars, they go to that weird bar on Tatooine. There's all those weird aliens hanging out. It's like that. It's a weird little bar in the middle of the desert, all these crazy characters. And then there's little ranches and sort of like shanties scattered around the desert around it. And these two German artists that I met live out there part-time. They come out in the winter to get away from the miserable, freezing cold winter in Germany. They come stay in this.
Let's start. How did you meet these guys?
So a friend in Vegas, this was probably 2 winters ago, one of my friends in Vegas goes, hey, do you want to go to this rave in a lean-to in the desert? That's how he put it to me. Do you want to go to a rave in a lean-to in the desert? Well, when someone asks you, do you want to go to a rave in a lean-to in the desert, of course you say yes. I mean, YOLO, right? You only live once. You might as well. I said, sure. So I drove out there. What do you mean it's a lean-to? Like, should I bring a tent? Like, because I was going to stay overnight. Should I bring a sleeping bag? No, it's a lean-to. Don't be silly. What the hell is a lean-to? Like, when I think of a lean-to, I think of a wood pile on the side of your house with a little thing over it. But no, it was like a sort of a shanty, sort of Mad Max style compound made out of plywood and barbed wire.
Yeah, it was a rusted sheet metal.
Well, it was just odds and ends. It was odds and their house started out as this little adobe cottage that this old-time blues musician built out in the desert. He's actually a pretty famous blues musician. I don't remember his name, but he built this adobe cottage, and then they sort of added onto it when they bought it so that, corrugated tin and rusted this and plywood and barbed wire. Big compound. It looks like something out of Mad Max. So I went out there, and met these artists, and they're nutty. So it's just, this guy's in a band. He's pretty well known in Germany. And he looks like Popeye on steroids. Like he's a big, muscular, bald guy who smokes a pipe and wears a sailor hat. Captain Rummelschnuff. That's his name. He doesn't speak a lot of English, but his first mate is this guy Christian, who's a friend of mine. He speaks perfect English. So yeah, I've gone out and stayed with him a couple times, and they filmed a music video last time I was there. In fact, my sister was in it with me. That time she did allow herself to be filmed. We were featured background dancers in the new Rummelschnuff video. It's so cool.
Now wait a second. Did you hook up with that guy? Because you look pretty cozy with the big pop.
I hate to break this to you, but Christian was gay.
Really?
And Captain Rummelschnuff, I don't think he's gay. I'm pretty sure he's not, but he didn't hit on me, so no, I didn't hook up. That's another thing. People read my blog and my social media persona. They think I'm the whore of Babylon, which is, I assure you, not the case. I'm actually one of the squarest people you'll ever meet. I'm very vanilla. You go to my house in Vegas, and I have a very tastefully decorated home. It's all clean, nice kitchen, matching china. I'm very, very square at heart. But I don't know, man. I just like to live. So people think like, oh, you go out to the desert with this guy, you're hooking up left and right. No, that is not the case. I assure you. No, I'm a nice girl.
I didn't mean to offend you, but it did look with Rummelschnuck there. You guys
No offense taken. I'm just trying to clear up a very common misconception.
I think I saw a picture of Rummelschnuck there cooking up some scrambled eggs or something, and you were like in love with him. But okay, listen.
Yeah. Well, Germans are really big into nudism, and I'm a nudist as well. So let me let you and your listeners in on a little secret. Nudism does not necessarily equate to sexuality. Like, I go to a lot of nudist hot springs, and I'm naked a lot of places, and there's no sexual undertones or any kind of tension. It's just being naked for the sake of being naked. It's naturism, I guess is what you call it, naturism.
Okay, good. We're going to get into all of that, okay? We're going to straighten some people out tonight.
All right.
Now, we're going to take a break. Now, the way we're set up tonight, it's a little different than usual. So, you and me, we can't talk during the break because the audience will hear us talking. But after the break, we'll get back with more adventures of she calls herself some kind of crap about being a nude model or whatever. But she really is a genius performance artist. Adventures of a Vegas nude and fetish model, which she is. But the thing is, this is really a performance artist genius. Okay, that I really hope will go down in history and people will recognize this genius that I see here. And let me tell you something, sir. I've hung out with big famous artists and people, historical figures, and I'm telling you, man, I see it. So we'll be right back after this. We're going to plug all of Sarah's stuff. We're going to get you to hire her to be a model. You won't believe the deal she offers, man. You can come to Vegas and hang out with her for a day. She'll take pictures with you and all kinds of stuff. Adventure of a lifetime, in my opinion. So we're going to be right back after these messages. More with Sara Jane Woodall. Wonderhussy.com, and I'm going to say something. When we come back, I'm going to tell you a little secret about Sarah that she hates people to know about, okay? So we'll be right back after this message.
This is Wolf Spirit Radio.
If you're looking for essential oils, stop by and check out Essentially Tammy on Facebook. She is Young Living Essential Oils Independent Distributor. These 100% therapeutic grade oils help support the body's natural functions. You can click on her website posted on Essentially Tammy, that's T-A-M-I, to see the current deals and check out the benefits of oils such as frankincense, joy, valor, lemon, beads, panaway, and many more. Email Jocotami, that's Jocatami @yahoo.com, or call 352-239-8546. That's 352-239-8546. Hey, don't forget good old Amanda at Pacific West Bamboo. Pacific West Bamboo, 503-839-8126. You can reach her at demroots@oppermail.com. Pacific West Bamboo, your number one source for timber, construction, and craft-grade bamboo poles, plants, products, and more. They specialize in eco-friendly reclaimed wood products for the home and garden. They're located in Portland, Oregon, servicing the Northwest for over 10 years. They can be reached at 503-839-8126. That's 503-839-8126. Her Facebook page is Pacific West Bamboo. They can and do ship nationwide, and they're currently getting a new line of bamboo flooring, veneers, and laminates made from Guadawa bamboo, one of the world's strongest bamboos. grown and produced and manufactured in Central America using only economically and environmentally friendly practices and standards. Good old Mike Gray at infinityhomeplans.com. Check out Infinity Home Plans and Design Services, your resource for 3D and 2D draftsman services. They offer a multitude of products, including stock home plans, 2D digital drawings, 3D models, renderings, and more. That's infinityhomeplans.com. Hey, don't forget emailrevealer.com. That's my website, emailrevealer.com. And we offer all different kinds of services. Current place of employment locate. Let's say you're trying to locate where your ex-husband or your ex-wife is working so you can collect on child support. You contact us, we can locate their place of employment for you and help you collect on that child support. Let's say you think that your husband or your wife is cheating on you. Give us their email address and we can trace it back to online dating websites and dating services. So we have a multitude of services on emailrevealer.com. Hey, don't forget the New World Mexican Women. Okay, now you just Google New World Mexican Women. You can find their book where they first describe their love letters to their men and their sons and their uncles and their brothers who have traveled from South America to North America to work as migrant workers. But the women down in this town there in Guerrero, Mexico, they want their men to come back. So they've written these beautiful love letters and they've put them all in this beautiful coffee table book. First, the letters are written in Spanish, handwritten. You can see pictures of the people writing the books. And then it comes on after that, and it's typewritten in English. And then also, too, the second half of the book is teaching you how to make authentic Mexican jewelry from these New World Mexican women. You can find their book on Lulu.com. It's only $19, or you can download the digital edition for free. That's New World Mexican Women, and it's a two-part book where first part is the love letters, and the second part is the making the handmade jewelry, the authentic Mexican jewelry. But you can also contact them too as well if you want to get a deal on wholesale jewelry from Mexico from these women.
This is Wolf Spirit Radio.
Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. The show is brought to you by Audible.com. Hey, go to, what is that called? audibletrial.com/Opperman Report. You go there, you sign up for free, you got a free audio book, blah, blah, blah. I don't think anybody's done it. I don't think anybody's bought a book from them yet or got a free book or anything. But there it is. If you want to do it someday, just to make me happy on my deathbed, you do me a favor. Me and Reverend Pinckney will go down the dark road there together. If you buy one freaking book from audibletrial.com, I'm not asking for a lot. Also, our new sponsor is truthfunders.com. Check out these guys, truthfunders.com. They're ready to launch. You can go on there right now and sign up. You get a hold of their beta version. They want to fund truthers and fund all kind of people. They probably even fund Sara Jane Woodall from Wonderhussy, who is my guest tonight.
Hi.
I love you, Sara. I love you, man. Thank you so much for coming on. I love you, man. You are so good. Everyone out there watching this show tonight knows Sara Jane Woodall. You just don't really realize it, okay? And I'm going to, you know what I'm getting at, Sara?
Maybe.
Okay. First of all, Sara, tell us, if people want to hire you as a model, How would they get a hold of you? You know, what kind of rates do you charge? All that kind of stuff.
Well, if you are an amateur photographer or somebody who has any interest in photographing a nude model, an artistic nude model, you know, those classic art nudes that you see of like chicks in the desert leaning on rocks, all that kind of stuff. That's what I do for the bulk of my income. I know a lot of beautiful desert locations around Vegas. I can take you around, show you several of them, and you can take pictures of me. I have a Model Mayhem profile at modelmayhem.com if you look that up. If you're a photographer, you probably have a profile there. If not, you can always just email me direct, wonderhussy@gmail.com. And I charge $500 for a full 8-hour day. I will personally drive you to the location and let you shoot me and, well, shoot pictures of me. And it'll be a great time, man. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you know, that would be, you know, just to hang out with Sarah would be so much fun to begin with, you know. And then,
it's a blast.
Yeah, I bet. You know, and you know all the cool
it's
spots.
It's a laugh a minute, let me tell you.
Yeah, okay, well, maybe not all the time. Now, Sarah, you were famous, okay, infamous, because Sarah Jane Woodall is in a Facebook meme. Okay, that went viral all over the world. It went viral. She hates talking about this. She gets so pissed off. You want to talk about it, Sarah?
Well, I'm not sure which one you mean, actually.
Because you can find, anytime you see a picture of a Vegas showgirl, that might be Sarah, because she did the...
yeah. Okay, so check this out. I'm a model, right? I'm an amateur model. I make no... about it. Like, I have no illusions that I'm a supermodel, right? I'm just a hack. So in modeling, sometimes you trade photo shoots. When you're starting out, you trade. Like, okay, you take my picture for free, and in exchange, I'll pose for you for free. So I had made this showgirl costume, like a Vegas showgirl costume. I made it myself. Like, it took, like, I don't know, like probably 30 hours of work and over $200 in supplies. I made this freaking costume. And go, okay, now I need some pictures in this costume. That way I can market myself as a showgirl for, you know, if you're doing a trade show or some sort of event, you want a showgirl, I'm your gal, right? Even though I'm only 5'3", as previously mentioned. With the feathers and whatnot, I'm a lot taller. So a local photographer took some photos of me on a trade basis, and I did not read the photo release that I signed. And he ended up selling the pictures to a stock photo website, which is like iStock.com. It's a royalty-free photos. You can go on these sites if you need a picture for an article you're writing or something. Oh, I need a picture of a showgirl. You look it up. Okay, you pay $5. Boom. You can put the picture in your article. That's it. You don't have to pay the photographer. You just pay the stock photo site the $5. So as a photographer, you can post your photos on these websites. Every time somebody downloads one of your photos, you get a small commission. Well, this guy posted all my showgirl pictures on his account, and man, they turn up all over the place. Now, I know this is standard practice. Like, that's what happens when you shoot with a stock photographer. But I just feel like, because we were kind of friends when we did this photo shoot, and he didn't, I don't know. I just feel like if he was really a friend, he would have, you know, offered to cut me in. I don't know. These pictures show up everywhere. I've had people email me from London, like, hey, your picture's on the casino over here. You know, just, and honestly, I came to a new realization about it. I was just complaining about it nonstop. But somebody recently told me, oh, you should look at it as a plus. Like, your picture's out there all over the place, even though your name isn't connected to it. It's like you're in print, and you can use that in your portfolio. Like, oh, look, my photo has been published in all these different magazines. I just feel like because my name or credit isn't associated with it, it's not really doing me any good. Nobody knows me, but I could look at it that way. So I'm trying to be positive about it and just look at it as an opportunity.
You're like the iconic showgirl. But that's
a sad thing. I am not the iconic showgirl. I am flat as an ironing board, and I'm 5'3". If somebody wants to put a picture of a showgirl in their magazine, they would do way better than me. I mean, there's a million other better showgirls than I just don't understand why. I think this picture must be really cheap or something, because that's the only reason I can think of it.
I totally disagree with you. And the picture it's the classic showgirl picture, and that's you. You did it. They're using it because it's real and it worked. Listen.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, trust me on this. I'm going to be your new agent. I'm going to manage your career, just like Bill Cosby managed all those chicks. I'm going to take over your career, young lady. I'm going to help you out.
I can't wait.
Now, just drink this. Listen, here is what Sarah is also very well known for, and this is the one she hates to talk about. Now, Sarah had a problem with her mortgage. Right? I know. Sarah, you want to tell them about it?
Well, first of all, it's a really pathetic story. Everybody was in the same boat. Like, there's a lot of greedy people in Vegas who got over their heads, myself included. Now, there were extenuating circumstances in my case that I won't get into, even though it's better than any soap opera you've ever watched. But I allowed myself to be coerced. But I allowed myself, I take full disclosure, I allowed myself to be coerced into this bad mortgage on this house with this guy that I was dating, or I was living with this guy for a couple of years, or kind of engaged, I thought we were going to get married, whatever. Bought this house, boom, broke up, now I'm left holding the bag, and this mortgage was horrible. Like, you remember all those adjustable rate mortgages we used to get back in the day? Well, that was me. So, in fact, that's how I got started modeling nude and fetish modeling. I needed to make money to pay this mortgage. Chase Bank was my mortgage holder. So I go, all right, whatever it takes, I'm going to pay this mortgage. So I stuck in people's toes and kicking guys in the nuts, doing all this stuff to make the money, paying this mortgage every month. Well, meanwhile, it was like, this is like 2008, 2009, the recession. Everybody starts foreclosing on their homes, short selling, all this stuff. So, you know what? I was raised to honor a debt, and I signed this mortgage. I agreed to pay this debt, so I'm not going to welch on it. So I contacted my lender, Chase Bank. Hey, can we maybe work out a loan modification, blah, blah, blah. This just went on for years and years. And meanwhile, I'm still paying my mortgage every month. So finally I go, you know what? Everyone's telling me, you got to stop paying. Miss a few payments, and then they'll pay attention. All right, so even though it went against my upbringing, I missed a few payments, and boom, right away. Oh, you want a loan modification. Oh, okay, well, let's work something out. So went on for like another year. They finally offered me this really crappy deal that I did end up welching out. I ended up short selling my house. So
wait a second. They offered you that deal where they add 10 years onto the mortgage?
They will extend the term of your loan to 40 years.
That's
but they
so
would
nice.
also they also offered to write down my interest rate to the current market rate, which was like 4 point something. So, would have brought my monthly payment down, but I still would have ended up owing them an insane amount of money for a house that was worth a fraction of it. But whatever. I still feel really bad about it. To be honest, I feel really guilty because at the end of the day, I did welch on a debt.
Yeah.
But I short sold the house. They got their money. They got their write-off. I'm sure Jamie Dimon, CEO of Chase, isn't losing any sleep over my house. But at one point, I had a buyer lined up, a cash buyer, and the bank wouldn't approve the short sale, or they were lagging, dragging ass. They wouldn't approve it. And the house was about to be foreclosed. It was going to be auctioned off. I think it was Valentine's Day or the day after Valentine's Day of 2012. So, it went down to the wire. And I'm like, will you guys please just approve this short sale? I don't want the house to get foreclosed on, blah, blah. So I did. I posted this. I had this sign that I made kind of explaining the whole thing. And I went on a couple of, you remember those We Are the 99% Occupy protests with my sign. And I had a picture, and it kind of went viral on moveon.org. They used it, which is not really something I'm proud of because it makes me look like an idiot. But I don't know if it was that or what, but they did. It finally squeaked in under the wire. They approved the short sale. I got rid of the house. And now I only have another 5 years before it disappears off my credit score. Oh. So happy ending. Yay.
But the thing is that you held up one of those signs saying, hey, I paid this for the house, and I paid all these payments, and now I still owe this.
Well, yeah, I did. And that was the thing. It was a very wordy sign. It wasn't like, you go to a protest, you want something that's, and the bank is taking it from me because I still owe them this. It was just like these numbers were just astronomical and asinine, and they didn't add up. And if you really looked at the sign and like, whoa, wait a minute. But I got a lot of hate for that. A lot of people emailed me and saying like, well, that's how mortgages, blah, blah. No, I found it. I paid, I think, $125,000 into that house. And out of all of that, $40,000 of it was a down payment, but the rest, $111 of it was principal. That's interest. These people charge an obscene amount of interest on loans. It's ridiculous. But what I learned from that whole situation is I will never, mark my words, listen, everybody, I will never go into debt again, ever. I am paying cash for the rest of my life. Cash is king.
But you make a point there, okay? And I'm a socialist, and this show is very left wing. We're intensely, barricading ourselves in here to do all this kind of stuff. But the thing, but the idea that it's okay that you take out a mortgage, and for the first 10 years, you're paying off like $1 off your principal.
Yeah, I paid $111 if it was horrible out of like $400,000.
And you got these people who come on your page there and complain about it and say, well, don't you understand? That's how mortgages work. Well, they shouldn't. You know?
Well, I agree, but at the same time, I remember it clearly when I was approved. I mean, it was really crooked the way I was approved for this. Like, the whole industry was just so corrupt, especially in Vegas. I was approved for this loan, and I had to go sign this contract, right? And I remember it very clearly. It was in this suite at the Wynn Hotel, of all places. And this notary public came, and it was like, I don't know, 60, 70-page thick thing. I had to initial the bottom of each page. And she went, and she kind of very cursorily explained okay, so here it says this, here it says this, okay. I mean, if I was to really sit there and decipher all 70 pages to where I thoroughly understood what was being said, it would have taken a year, and I wouldn't have taken the mortgage out. And I feel like that's the case with almost everybody who takes the mortgage out. If you really understood what you were getting into, nobody would take mortgages out. Nobody understands. They just get a mortgage because that's what you do. You get married, you have kids, you get a mortgage, you lose your hair, you get old, you die. That's life. Well, that's no life for me, let me tell you.
That's a good question. I got a couple of questions for you. First of all, what are your politics?
For my politics? Well, I'm pretty much I'm as liberal as they come. I mean, I'm sitting up here in Northern California. Excuse me, my name should be Sarah Jane Fond. I really am left wing, but no, I'm very left wing. But that being said, I have a really strong work ethic. So I guess there could be a slight, there's a small vein of libertarianism running through me. But no, I vote Democratic. I voted straight Democrat last election.
Okay, so you think there's a difference between, like, Barack Obama and Mitt Romney?
Well, I mean, yeah, there's a difference. I mean, they're still just obeying their paymasters or their sponsors or whatever. But yeah, I guess there's a difference. One's for socialized health care, the other one isn't. You know, well, one's for helping the poor, the other one isn't.
Okay, I think I think they're both in the same game, and they're both against this. I don't think they're...
They both have to answer to Congress. It's not like they can make their own decisions anyways, you know what I mean? Like, whoever you elect as president only has so much power. It's really who's in the Senate and Congress.
Yeah, and the big banks and the big, who seem to be...
Well, yeah, actually, I saw a really interesting picture on Facebook with a chart, like comparing our society to the medieval feudal society, where, back in those days, the king was at the top, or the pope, or whatever. Oh, and they showed it in today's terms. It was fascinating. The top of the pyramid was the big banks, not even the big, the Rothschilds, and the big financial banks. The president of the U.S. wasn't even until halfway down the pyramid. I mean, that guy's really not holding all the power. He just does what they tell him to do. You know what I mean? Mitt Romney, Barack Obama, whoever, Sarah Palin, it doesn't matter.
Right. No, okay, good. So now locally, are you involved in any of these protests, these marches, the hands up, don't shoot, that kind of stuff, or no?
No, I mean, I did a couple of those We Are the 99% protest back in the day because I had an axe to grind with my mortgage. Now got myself out of that mess, and no, I mean, I'm not fired up about Ferguson or anything like that. Like, I feel like there's always two sides to every story, and there's not a clear-cut answer. Like, one side isn't completely right, one side is not completely wrong. We all have to meet in the middle and muddle it out somehow. So, blocking our freeway off for everything and solve anything, and busting into somebody's convenience store and stealing all their brandy isn't going to solve anything either. So, no, I'm not currently politically active now. Okay,
but if you were walking by that convenience store, would you go in and get some brandy?
I would not.
You would not? Okay.
I wouldn't because I don't know, like, to me, thievery is like the worst thing, theft. Oh, I just hate a thief, man, which an argument could be made that I am not much better because I welched on my mortgage, but I didn't steal anything from me. I'm just saying, if I'm going to be a moral person, moral is moral. So you hear, it's okay to steal this, but it's not okay to steal that. No, if stealing is wrong, stealing is wrong. So, no, I would never steal a bottle of brandy from a looted store. Absolutely not. No. Are you kidding? I wouldn't waste my time on brandy. I'd go straight for the tequila. No, just kidding. I wouldn't take any of it.
What do you drink? What do you like to drink?
Well, I'm thinking about the finest boxed Cabernet right now.
Okay. Oh, very good. What kind of box? What year?
Well, it's Black Box, which I don't know if it says on the box. What's the name of the brand? Black Box Wine. $20, 4 bottles per box. Supposedly won all these Wine Spectator awards. I don't know. It tastes good to me. I'm not a snob. I do like nice wine, but I'm also broke, by choice. So I'm okay. I would rather live the kind of life I do and drink boxed wine than slave away working for some, a-hole and drink good wine. So
I totally hear you, and I live your life vicariously, because I would love to live that kind of life, just traveling around and camping and doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah? You want to run out around naked in the desert and pose for pictures? Is that what you're saying?
I would run around naked in the desert. I don't know if I would pose for pictures doing it, but I would definitely run around naked in the desert. I got a problem with that.
Yeah, it's great. It's a very liberating feeling. I was just doing it yesterday, in fact, before this cold front blew in.
Now, do you ever think about settling down and getting married and having kids?
I thought about it, yeah, sure, but I just feel like it's not for me. I'm 12 years older than my brother and 9 years older than one of my sisters, so I basically raised them, right? I was 12 when my brother was born.
Right.
So I changed all his diapers and blah, blah, blah. I've had that experience, and, I have nothing against kids, and if it happens, it happens, but I value my freedom, I like to be free to travel and move about as I want to, and with a papoose strapped to my back, it would be a little bit harder.
Well, yeah, you would have to give up that life, I think, to some degree.
Well, I wouldn't have to. You see those traveling hippies that raise their family in a school bus, that kind of thing. It would just make it a lot harder. And, for me, I'm really good with my money now because I learned that whole lesson with the mortgage fiasco. I know exactly how much money I need to pay all my bills. It costs me $70 a day to live my life, and that is to pay for everything: food, makeup, homeowners insurance, whatever, on my new house that I bought. So as long as I make $70 a day, I'm fine. And that also accounts for savings and retirement because I'm responsible. I'm putting money away in an IRA every month, blah, blah, blah. So as long as I make $70 a day, I'm good. I can travel, I can have fun. If I have a kid, well, now I'm going to have to make probably double that. I don't know how much it would cost per day to raise a kid, but it'd be more than $70. So I'd have to work double as hard. I'd have to do twice as many wrestling matches and have twice as many ribs fractured. And I just don't really feel up to that.
What's your next?
I guess I would only have a child if I knew I was in a financial situation, which I wish more people were like this. If I was in a financial situation that I could support the child, then I'll have a child.
I got a friend of mine, reminds me a lot of you. She did some modeling and stuff like that too as well. And she lives in a RV and homeschools her kids, and runs around and
yeah, that's great.
Same kind of stuff. I tried to hook you up with her. Remember, I wanted to send you up to, I wanted to make Sarah Jane Woodall my correspondent and go up to Bundy Ranch.
Oh, right, I do remember that. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would have gone along with those people. It could have been kind of touchy.
Now you don't have to support them, but the idea of, because I had you in your, in the showgirl outfit. My friend does the same thing with the showgirl outfits. I said, set him up there in showgirl outfits.
No, it would have been cool. You're right. And you know what? I would have gone for sure because I was very curious about that situation. I totally would have gone, but I must have had something else going on. I don't remember what the case was. I certainly wouldn't have blown you off for no reason at all, I assure you.
No. Don't worry about that at all. Listen, you know, we're all free agents here. But Betsy, I wanted to hook you up with her because now tell them too what you do. You go busking down on Fremont Street and Las Vegas Boulevard for.
Okay, so if I really don't make any money at all, like if I'm desperate, for whatever reason, all these different gigs I do dry up. There's no wrestling to be found. There's no conventions. Then my fallback plan to make money is to go busking, which is street performing. You stand on the street with a little bucket for tips. Well, I don't know if you've been to Vegas lately. You go down the strip. There's all these people standing around wearing costumes, crazy costumes. It's like Chewbacca, it's Elvis, Michael Jackson. Oh, you take a picture with him, you give him $1, right? Well, I go, that's why. Going back to that showgirl costume I crafted myself. I made that costume specifically toward that end. Oh, I'll make this costume. Sure, it's an initial $250 investment in materials, but I'll make all that money back, and I can use this costume to post for pictures with people. Well, worked on the costume, finished it, but what I failed to realize was there's already like 200-plus girls out there doing the same shtick, right? You walk up and down Vegas Boulevard, it's like knee-deep in showgirls standing around. Okay, plan B. I gotta think of something to set myself apart from all these other showgirls, right? What else do people like besides showgirls in Las Vegas? Hey, they like marijuana. So I made another costume. This was a marijuana showgirl costume. So instead of just a feather headdress, it's a giant pot leaf headdress. I've got pot leaves on the bra, green sequins everywhere, pot leaves growing out of the little panties, like all green sparkly pot leaves everywhere. And then I have a big giant joint that I hold as a prop. And I go out there as Mary Jane, the green goddess. And by golly, you'd be surprised. People will pose for pictures with Mary Jane all night long. And it's pretty good money. I don't do it very often because people make fun of these buskers out there, but I'm here to tell you that's really hard work.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exhausting. It's dirty. You have to suffer so many fools that it's hardly even worth it. Like, people are groping you, making dumb remarks. But that being said, it's cash money, $1 at a time. And it adds up, though. I've done it. I go out, like, every April 20th, which is 4/20. It's a big pot smoker holiday.
Oh, yeah.
I make it a point to at least go out on 4/20 and do it. The last one I think I made like $200 in, like, 3 hours or something. It's pretty good.
No, that's not bad at all. Now, I understand that you have a chronic medical condition, and that you're required to treat yourself with medical marijuana.
Well, I do, and here's the thing: I don't really care who's listening to this. I'll be honest with you, Ed. I'm going to tell you the truth.
What?
I've had insomnia since 2010.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, right. So it set in like after I did some bad drugs at a rave in the desert, right? So I got this terrible insomnia. I never had a problem sleeping before that, but now all of a sudden I couldn't sleep. So I go to my doctor, and he gives me all these benzodiazepines, like temazepam and tramadol. I don't remember all these different sleeping pills I tried, right? Ambien. None of those would work, or they would work, and then I'd develop a tolerance for them after taking more and more. Like, I don't want to be addicted to drugs for the rest of my life. So I go, hey, how about marijuana? Could you prescribe me marijuana? Oh, no, I can't prescribe you that. This is my, primary care physician at Sierra Health. Legitimate doctor. Oh, you know what? I know smoking marijuana I had found on my own extracurricular experimentation.
Because you did your own scientific studies on this.
Well, it helps me relax, right?
Okay.
And my problem is when I'm sleeping, if I wake up in the middle of the night, I can't get back to sleep. It's because I'm stressed. I start stressing about it. Like, oh my God, I'm awake. I'm not going to be able to fall back asleep. Oh. Well, if I take a hit off my pipe, I relax and I'm able to fall back asleep. So my regular doctor wouldn't write me the prescription, so I had to go to a friendly special doctor, Dr. Reefer, and he was more than happy to write me a prescription. So I've had a medical marijuana prescription for 4 years. But the stupid thing is, I go to the doctor. Okay, what are you here for? What do you want medical marijuana for? I go, well, I have insomnia. Oh, insomnia. Well, that's not on the list of approved conditions in the state of Nevada. The state of Nevada, there's like 4 or 5 approved conditions that you can get a cannabis prescription for. That's AIDS, cancer, glaucoma, or number 4 is like some sort of catch-all, chronic pain or fatigue associated with one of these conditions. So I sort of fell in under the chronic pain umbrella. And I wouldn't have even put myself in there, but these doctors really want to give you this prescription, right? They want you to get medical marijuana. So oh, insomnia, yeah, we can't write you a prescription for insomnia, but would you say you get headaches? Well, yeah, I guess if I don't sleep for a few days, I'd get a headache. Yeah, sure. Oh, okay, we'll say you get a headache. It's so corrupt and so crooked. It's such a farce. I've had my card for 4 years now, and it's expiring on the 14th, which is Monday, and I have decided not to renew it because I refuse to be party to such a corrupt friggin' system. It's cost well over $200 a year in Nevada to have a medical marijuana card. And where is that money going? It's going to line the pockets of some crooked doctor and fees to the state, fees to the DMV. Like, where's this money going? So you guys can go out and arrest more people smoking pot? No, I refuse to be party to it. I am announcing right here and now, I am renouncing my medical marijuana patient status. From now on, I'm still going to smoke weed. I just ordered a whole bunch from my dispensary while my card was still good. I stocked up. I laid in supplies. I will still smoke weed every night, but I'm going to be doing it illegally. Yes, that's right, Johnny Law. Come to my house if you must. Bash me on the forehead with a billy club because I'm smoking weed in bed in the privacy of my own home to be able to sleep. If it's that important to you, come and take me away, I say. End of rant.
Well, you heard it here tonight, folks. Sarah Jane Woodall has announced that she is, in defiance of the law, going to burn her marijuana card on Fremont Street.
Well, I'm not burning the card. I'm just letting it expire. But seriously, I'm not a very passionate person. Like, we were just talking about political affiliation. I'm not really politically active. There's like 2 causes that I'm passionate about, and marijuana is one of them. I really think that it is has legitimate medicinal purposes, but that really shouldn't be criminalized. A, The other cause that I'm passionate about is female topless inequality, right?
Oh,
so we can get to that later if you like.
No, we will. So
we're
going to be right back after this short message from commercials to make money. Our new sponsor is Dr. Reefer, who's going to be sponsoring our show after we burn his card at the stake. But we have with us Sara Jane Woodall, man, who I knew. I've never talked to this woman before in my life. And I knew she'd be a great guest. I saw this woman years ago, and I said, I know she's going to be a great guest. And I'm right. I know what I'm doing with this job. Okay, now, with Sara Jane Woodall, her website is Wonderhussy. You can find her on Model Mayhem. She's Facebook memes. If you look at a picture about the showgirl, it's probably her. So we'll be right back after these messages. We'll be back with more Sara Jane Woodall. Hey, Sara, we're going to be taking a break, but maybe you can try and Skype in and we'll get better audio, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, try and Skype me, okay? But
okay.
See if you can leave this line open, too. But we'll be right back after these messages. Thank you.
This is Wolf Spirit Radio.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report with Ed Opperman.
You're back on the air.
Hello?
Hi, Sarah. Yeah, you're back on the air. Ed, where are you?
Yeah.
Ed's muted, disappeared. Gone to the... Anyway, so fascinating. I'm just the producer here, but I'm just holding the air.
Hello, producer. Hey.
So, yeah, do you want to tell us more of your wild life, it seems? Ah, that's interesting. We're getting some connection problems here. Yes. Sarah, anyone now? No? All right. Okay. We're just going to play another bumper there.
Ho, ho, Merry Christmas. Hey, guys, this is Ed Opperman from the Opperman Report, coming to you from the North Pole, and we are wishing you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from our family to your family. We hope and pray you all have a happy, safe, fun-filled holiday season and a blessed New Year. Ho, ho, ho! But I am broadcasting from the North Pole, did you?
No, I didn't. How exciting! Do you have any updates on Santa Claus? What's going on?
I know that you've been a naughty girl this year and that you're in big trouble.
I most certainly have not. I've been a very good, exceptionally good person, as I always am.
Yes, you are. Now tell us about, considering you like to do holiday photos, right?
Oh, yeah. I've got some holiday photos, yeah. You want me to describe them?
Yeah, can you describe them without going out off into the X-rated...
Ed, if you know anything about me by now, I can claim to. You should know that I have an exceptional vocabulary, and I can most certainly describe something obscene without using any obscenities.
You know what? You're right.
So,
I'm sorry, Sarah. Go ahead.
So the picture that you're probably talking about, well, there's two. I do a lot of these conceptual photos just for fun, but a couple holiday-themed ones I've done. One was I painted my pubic hair green and put little tiny Christmas ornaments in it from a dollhouse Christmas tree. So it's a Christmas bush. That was kind of a good one. The other one that I wouldn't post that on Facebook, just my pubic hair, right? So violate their terms.
Yeah.
That's only on Model Mayhem.
Okay.
Or you can also follow me on Tumblr. I have a Tumblr account that posts that kind of stuff. But anyways, on Facebook, I have another photo. I don't know even how I got this idea. It just occurred to me. I had my roommate, I have a male roommate, I had him dressed up in a Santa Claus suit with one of those really thick peppermint sticks that are about an inch diameter and two red, shiny Christmas ornament balls dangling beneath it. And I took a picture of my myself in a little Santa bikini, kneeling at Santa's feet, sucking on this peppermint stick that is held at crotch level by Santa's white-gloved hand. And then the caption I put under was, "I'm getting that damn pony for Christmas this year." Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Okay, now, Sarah, you think that up in your head. You come up with this idea.
Yes, I did. I don't know what that says about me.
No, it's brilliant. Now you come up, you just drag a guy off the street, the roommate, put a costume on him. Who takes the pictures?
Well, I have several photographers that I'm friends with, and we collaborate and like goof around. So I think actually that was a last minute idea. So this photographer, one of my favorite guys, is this photographer named Michael Mays, and he had already been planning. Him and his girlfriend were going to come over to my house that night. We were going to do a photo shoot party because I have a huge closet full of all these wigs and costumes. Okay, so me and his girlfriend will dress up in his outfits. I'll take pictures. It'll be fun. We'll drink. It'll be fun. Yeah. So right when I'm getting ready for the shoot, I just got the idea for the Santa thing. I bet I could talk my roommate into doing that. My long-suffering roommate, he's actually a really open-minded, cool guy, so he was more than willing to step in. I put out the call on Facebook, "Hey, anybody have a Santa Claus costume I could borrow?" A friend of mine had a Santa outfit. I went and got that. Went to the dollar store to get the peppermint stick and the Christmas balls, and, well, before you can say ho, 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 holiday history was made. And it's an awesome picture. It's actually been flagged on Facebook a couple times. But
really?
Facebook moderators reviewed it and let it stay up because there's no nudity in it.
The Grinch did it.
Well, you know, the Grinch is always around.
Yeah. So now, people got to know, man. People really got to look through your body of work, man. Because, like, even when Kim Kardashian came out with that stupid picture.
Yep.
Now, how long did it take you to come up and say, "I'm going to do the same thing"?
Oh, so with the Kim Kardashian thing, again, I have another photographer that I collaborate with a lot who goes by the name Sugarbug Studio, my friend Randy. So me and him had already planned out this photo shoot. Like, I'm going to come over to his house and get a little studio set up there, and we're going to do some pictures. I had this electric vagina that I wanted to shoot with, this cod piece that I made. But then, at the last minute, this Kim Kardashian thing came out that day. I go, "Hey, let's try to recreate that Kim Kardashian picture, too, while we're at it." So everybody knows the picture I'm talking about, right? She's naked and greased up, and her big booty is sticking out. She's pulling a dress down. She's wearing gloves and a pearl necklace. So I get a pearl necklace, I get a dress, I got all the gloves and all the props, go over to his house, get all greased up, and I'm trying to recreate that pose, and he's telling me, like, "You gotta arch your back more, you gotta stick your butt out more, arch your back, you gotta twist your head." Sarah, I'm here to tell you, I'm not the most flexible person, but that pose is impossible. And remember all this controversy. Oh, is that picture Photoshop? No, that's really her. It's not Photoshop. There is no question whatsoever that picture is Photoshop. Not because of how wonderful our butt looks or whatever. It is physically impossible to turn your neck that far to the side the way she is in the picture unless you're Linda Blair or a hoot owl. So I tried it. I failed. We ended up having to Photoshop my head sideways on it. And then while we're at it, let's just make my waist skinnier and my butt bigger. And, well, next thing you know, I look just like Kim Kardashian.
Okay, then you have conducted forensic experiments, and you could testify in court that that photo is Photoshopped.
Absolutely. I am willing to testify as an expert, and my fees are very reasonable.
I rest my case.
Mm-hmm.
We'll move on. Maybe we can enter that exhibit into the Reverend Pinckney trial coming up on the 15th. Yeah, good old Reverend Pinckney troll down there in Michigan, which I hope not. Okay, Sarah, what is your next adventure? What the hell you got going on next?
Well, so I just got up here, not a few hours ago. My mom lives in the Redwood Forest in a little cabin up in Northern California. So I'm going to hide out here. Oh, tomorrow! I've got an adventure planned tomorrow. Okay. I'm going down to San Francisco. It's Christmas time, right? So they have this big thing called Santa Con, which is basically it's a pub crawl in the middle of the day where upwards of 1,000 people show up dressed in Santa Claus outfits, and they just go from bar to bar, just causing havoc. So we have a similar thing in Vegas that I've done, but it's on a much smaller scale. In Vegas, we generally only get like 200-300 people. Up in San Francisco, it's like the home of this kind of stuff. They get thousands. So my sister and I are leaving tomorrow morning and putting on Santa Claus outfits. They're sort of like Santa's helper outfits. Oh. And we're going to go down to San Francisco, eat some mushrooms, drink some booze, wander around, carouse a bit, and make merry.
Okay, now let me ask a question now. Okay, I haven't had mushrooms like in 20, 30 years. How do you get that stuff? You just have friends who have it?
Yes, I've got a secret connection that comes through for me, and I'm not a big drug taker. I know it sounds like I am with all these crazy stories I'm telling you, but I mean, I drink alcohol, that's a drug.
Yeah.
I smoke weed, that's a drug, and I eat mushrooms. Those are pretty much the only three I do, and because I had a bad experience with, remember I said my insomnia was caused by taking some questionable drugs. I don't like to take anything that was synthesized in a laboratory. It freaks me out, like acid, ecstasy, and that stuff. You never know who made that stuff. Marijuana and mushrooms grew from the ground. I can more or less trust them, so that's my party drug of choice. Mushrooms, good old-fashioned mushrooms, just food poisoning. That's all it is. Put a little hair in your chest.
But nowadays, the marijuana is so genetically modified, and it's.
But I can be, yeah. I mean, but you'll never find me at an anti-Monsanto protest. I'm okay with GMOs, so especially genetically modified marijuana, all the better. If they can make the buds bigger and the THC content higher, I'm all for it. Bring it on.
Oh, yeah, my God, because even I guess 25, 30 years ago, when I started smoking that indoor-grown marijuana, I couldn't take that. I was so
It's
paranoid.
very potent, but you need more bang for your buck. You know, smoke less. Again, I was saying earlier, I was preconceptions about me. People think I'm the whore of Babylon, blah, blah, I'm really square. Same thing with marijuana. I make it sound like I'm this big smoker. I probably take 3, 4, 5 puffs a day. That's it.
Okay.
In bed, as previously mentioned. So, remember I said I just stocked up late in supplies and I'm not renewing my card. I bought probably 3/4 of an ounce, and that is plenty to last you for an entire year. I barely smoke. I mean, I'm a lightweight.
Okay. Yeah, I used to smoke tons. I smoked, forget it.
Well, that explains a lot.
I know, doesn't it really? I know, I tell you, but I've had my own adventures as well. I ran with the bulls in Spain and stuff like that. Now,
ooh, that's on my list.
Oh, well, you know what? I don't think it's as cool as it is now as it was back then when I did it, because it's got a lot more commercialized. But it was a really, really cool.
Well, that's what all you old timers say. Oh, you guys are really trying to keep people out of it. You don't want anyone else to have any fun.
No, that's not true at all, man. I'm all for people having fun. Now, what is in your life, okay, your young life, because since I'm an old timer now, I've been put in my place. I'm an old timer. Okay. What's about in your youth, your childishness there, what is your most favorite adventure that you've done so far? Well, what if you?
God, that's like trying to ask you who your favorite child is. I've had so many. Oh God. You just put me on the spot, man. I mean, the Rumble Trump video is cool. Going to Burning Man is cool.
Is Burning Man really that cool, man? Because, I'm, I don't know if you know my story, but I was with the Yippies in New York, and I've done all the Beans and the Love-Ins and all that kind of stuff like that.
Again, I'm sure it was so much better when you guys did it.
Really was. Let me tell you something, you young whippersnapper, and also with the Rainbow Family. I've done all that stuff, and I don't get into Burning Man, man. It's up there, you're in the...
Yeah. The dust doesn't bother me, but I can see what you're saying. Like, it is the same thing. It's definitely not a life-changing... Like, that's what drives me nuts about Burning Man. It's like a cult, right? Oh, it'll change your life. It's a life-changing experience. No, it's not. The first year I went, I was sorely disappointed. I mean, crushed, actually. That's not too strong a term. I was really like, oh, man, this is going to be so cool. I'm going to meet all these like-minded people and their soulmate, and it's going to change. No, it's just a big frat party, basically. Right. They're just drunk hippies on drugs dancing around. But it is what it is, and what it is an awesome friggin' party, man. I mean, I always have a good time up there. It's totally different, so, yeah. Last year at Burning Man, I had an exceptionally good time. So it's probably one of my top experiences, adventures that you asked me. I was on my period at Burning Man. This is not obscene.
Okay.
As far as industry, I was on my period at Burning Man, right? Oh, man. I hate getting my period. I've always been lucky in the past. Like, I get it before, get it after, never during Burning Man. Well, this year, it's right during Burning Man. Okay, well, I could let it ruin my burn, or I could just roll with it. So I had a tampon, I tied a disco ball to the end of the string and just wore that around. It freaked people out because, as open-minded as Burning Man people are, like, guys, especially, you don't talk about things like tampons and periods. So, I forgot to mention the fact that I was wearing a strap-on rubber penis over it. So I'd be dancing around wearing this strap-on rubber penis, and the guy would go, I like your strap-on. Oh, yeah? You want to see something really crazy? Well, and of course they would say, well, yeah. Are you sure? It's pretty crazy. Well, yeah. I want to see. So then I would pull the strap-on aside, and there's a disco ball dangling down. And tell them a little story about that. Whoa, that really blew their minds. I mean, these guys. But you know what? every single one of them thought it was awesome. Every single person that I showed it to was like, wow, that is far out. Thank you for showing me that. Like, nobody was grossed out. I thought it was like TMI. It was cool. That was a very positive experience. I opened a lot of guys' minds to the realities of menstruation, I guess. Cool.
Okay. Now, when you go to Burning Man, you go there by yourself?
No, actually, I go with my sister. I've been 7 times now, and every time with my sister. So, yeah, but, you know, in a group of friends, we usually have we had a pretty motley crew last year, which is some of my fellow nude models, my attorney, his wife. It was a strange group that we had, but, you know, that's what's great about Burning Man. You got these weird, disparate people together, and they all somehow get along.
You don't think Burning Man is like a lot of people who can afford those tickets, man? You know, you weed out a lot of people if the tickets are so expensive and hard to get and stuff.
Well, you'd be surprised. I know a few people personally who got they do have low-income tickets that you have to apply for. You have to write like a little essay about why do I deserve a low-income ticket, and then it's only like $150 if they approve your, you know? So I've had a couple friends in Vegas who actually got that. I always pay a full price, which was $380 last year.
Yeah.
Plus you had to buy plus a $40 vehicle pass if you want to drive your car. And so looking at $420 total. But, you know, break it down by day. I'm up there for 10 days. It's $42 a day. Well, yeah, I guess it was kind of expensive, but for me, it's completely worth it because that's such a great time. And I get to see, it's almost like a family reunion for me. Yeah. Sometimes my other sister comes as well. My brother has come before. Like, it's cool. I like it.
No, I hear what you're saying, you know, and then, like I said, I grew up going to the smoke-ins and stuff like that, and then the Rainbow family and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, man. I can't. It seems so corporate, you know.
Well, it is. It's manufactured fun. Like, hey, Burning Man is the greatest party in the world, so you're gonna have fun. Like, I get that. Like, it is more fun to just be partying out in the Mad Max compound in Wonder Valley with a couple of crazy Germans. Those parties are way more organic, I guess, and those are. I mean, probably my best adventure. Burning Man is not one of my best adventures. If I can put me on the spot, I couldn't think of anything else to say. But yeah, more impromptu, organic things that I just happen to run into. I prefer. But you know, for what it is, Burning Man's cool. And you know what? For a lot of people, it really is a life-changing experience. I'm just really open-minded and crazy, and you seem to be the same way. But for a lot of people, they're pretty square, and they go to an event like Burning Man, and it really does blow their mind and change their life and make them a different person. So you gotta appreciate it for that, you know?
Yeah, you're right. Not everybody's Sarah Jane Woodall traveling around living this incredible lifestyle. Now, now another thing that happened to you recently, right, is you know, someone gave you what would you call like a truckload of rubber penises?
Yeah, so this was right before Burning Man. I have a vast network, right? I have a lot of people that I know. And one of the friends of mine was running a sex toy, like a home shopping channel for sex toys. So, you know, like instead of watching QVC, you watch his channel, you can order dildos, thongs, vibrators from the comfort and privacy of your own home. All the operators are female, all the hosts are female, everything. You know, it's by women for women, except for this is the guy who runs it. Well, he was running it in Santa Monica and in Vegas, and he decided to shut down the Vegas operation. So he calls me one day, he goes, hey, I'm shutting down my Vegas studio. I got a warehouse full of dongs and dildos. You want to come take some inventory? Oh, do I ever? I'll be there in 5 minutes. Well, of all the times, my pickup truck was in the shop. So I had this little Hyundai Elantra or some crappy little car. Oh, yeah, well, I'll stuff as many as I can in there. I mean, if I had my pickup truck, trust me, I would have loaded the back up. So I drive over to his warehouse, and he's got bins and bins and bins of sex toys. He goes, take as much as you want. Take it all. Take it all. So I go, oh, okay. Well, I do a drag king act sometimes. I dress as a man, and I had a performance coming up that next weekend. So, okay, well, I need a rubber dong to wear in my drag king act. So I'm just going to go through all these bins and just take all the rubber dongs. So I'm digging through taking dongs, and they had dongs of all sizes. I'm here to tell you there is a market for every size rubber penis. You know, everyone thinks, oh, what do they want a big penis? No, not necessarily the case. I mean, there's commercially available penises ranging from like 3 inches, called the little chubby, all the way up to like a 13-incher. Really? So I took all the rubber dongs he had, all different colors, different thicknesses, different firmnesses, and he goes, come on, you're taking too much. Just grab everything, just take more. So now I'm just like shoveling everything in. I mean, I took like 3 giant garbage bags full of sex toys out of this guy. I'm dragging it out of his warehouse, and then the garbage bag split open on the sidewalk, and dongs fell all over the street. scooped them up, shoved them in my crappy rental car, drove home. Yeah, I was like a bonanza. So I brought them all to Burning Man, and, they came in very useful. I gave them away as gifts. I used some of the hollow ones as rebar stake covers.
Right.
And then I wore,
the tent pegs, the rebar tent pegs, she took the rubber penises and put them over the tent pegs.
Well, yeah, because it's not just tent pegs, it's rebar. It's rebar, right. So like you can really gash your shin open on the rebar. So you got to cover it with something for safety's sake, right? So I'm here to tell you, rubber dongs make excellent rebar covers if you're on the market for something like that.
Well, Sarah, I used to travel with a gospel tent ministry, okay, an old-fashioned gospel tent. And we hammered in those rebars, okay, but we did not have the rubber penises to cover up the rebars. So I have banged my shins on those rebars.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I put a big giant tent, man. Can I shovel?
Well, so if anybody from a traveling revival show is listening, use rubber dongs.
Yeah, there you go, man. And Sarah has them for sale, half price. Oh my God, Sarah Jane Woodall, you are my hero. You know that you really are in so many ways. Well, I can't tell you, man. I can't tell you. I'm a huge fan. Oh my God, the penises. What do we want to talk about next? What can you talk about after a truckload of rubber penises? You know what I mean?
Really, nothing. That's pretty much where the story ends right there. Oh, and then I sailed off into the sunset with my truck full of dongs.
Oh my God. Long-range plans. Do you have long-range plans to publish a book? Why don't you how come you don't have a reality TV show?
I don't know. No one has expressed any interest in making a reality TV show about me. And as to why I don't publish a book, I always kind of butt up against this wall. Like, okay, if I'm going to write a book about my life, I got to figure out how it ends.
No.
Or there's got to be some sort of sense of closure, right? There's got to be a story arc, some sort of conflict and resolution. Well, guess what? There's no resolution in my life. I just keep chugging along, and I wouldn't know where to end the book. I'd have to make something up. So everyone's always on my nuts about that. Yes, why don't you write a book? And I will, I guarantee you. I just got, I don't know, life keeps getting in the way, right? I don't want to stop living, just sit down and write too much. I already wrote my blog. It was a big enough time commitment.
Yeah, see, but with you can do a nice coffee table book with these pictures in it.
Yeah, nice book for nice coffee table.
Oh, you would sell a couple of thousand books without even blinking an eye. You could self-publish it.
But the problem with that is all my photos are taken by different photographers, and they all own the copyrights to the photos. If that's what it is, I don't know. Yeah, so but I can figure it out, and it's something that I do intend to do, actually. I am collaborating with one of my photographer friends on a book, so look for that coming soon.
Good. Now, what about with the reality TV show, which I think you'd be, because listen, they come to me, they want me to do a reality TV show, but they say, what they say is thinking you said, I'm too old. Okay,
is that right?
Yeah, they want a young, good-looking person, now that's you.
Well, that's TV, dude. It's all BS. Do you really want to be part of that? I don't know.
I gotta make some money, you know what I mean? Unless you want to rob banks.
No, trust me, I hear you on that one.
And, I'll rob a truckload of penises with you if we have to.
Yeah, I already gave them all away, man. There's no money to be had in that anymore.
All those penises are gone?
I have a few I kept for artistic purposes. I think they come in handy for photo shoots. So, yeah.
You did save a couple of them, right, Sarah?
Yeah, well, I've got a few left. If anybody needs any, if it's an emergency, call me. I can help you out.
Sarah, where can we find you if we want to hire you?
Best way is just go to my blog. It's the easiest to remember. Wonderhussy. That's WONDER, Hussy, HUSSY. I'm a combination of Wonder Woman and a shameless hussy. That's how I chose my moniker. So you can find me on any social media under Wonderhussy. Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Google+, Gmail, any of those things. I'm at Wonderhussy. So it's pretty easy to look me up. And on Model Mayhem as well. Wonderhussy is my model name. So if you want to get a hold of me, holler at me.
Yeah.
Like I said, my rates are reasonable.
Oh, they really are. They really, really are. So if you need somebody for a trade show model, a trade show salesperson, you cannot get. I know about these trade shows, man. You can't get someone like this who's smart, who's sharp, to work at your trade show, to work at your trade show booth, to sign people up. This is someone you can really get at a bargain.
And the rate that I mentioned earlier, the $500, that's a day rate for my modeling services, which is different. Like trade shows, my rate is totally different. Like quality. I mean, just make me an offer. I'll negotiate with you. I'll work with you.
so true, man. You know, I tell you, this is one of the I think one of the most brilliant creative people and creative minds that we have in our present time right now is Sara Jane Woodall. I'm not kidding around. You know, I really do think you're brilliant and a really creative artist. And I'm just so impressed with your work. And thank you for coming on the show. Now, when I first, Sarah, when I first contacted you, right, you said, hey, you want to come on for a half hour, right? Now,
yes, I know. It's already been like an hour and a half, hasn't it?
Yeah, and you're the best. Okay, but I have another hour to go. Okay, and we could take phone calls from listeners and autograph hounds and people who may want rubber penises. Would you like to hang out for a little bit longer after the break?
Well, I would like to, but I'd also like to eat dinner.
Okay, man. Okay, Sara Jane Woodall, man, we love you. Okay, I can't thank you enough for coming on.
I love you, Ed, and I love all your listeners. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Sarah, you have an open invitation here. Anytime you want to come on, plug something, just let me know, okay?
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
Oh, come on. You're such a crack. Okay, you know what? I do have more questions for you. You got more time, no?
I'll stay a bit longer.
Okay, great. So we're going to take a break now. Sara Jane Woodall is a sucker for a guy with a line, okay? I'll tell you that right now.
I'm a sucker.
And you can pretty much talk her into anything, all right? Especially when it gets to 7, 8 o'clock at night. Okay, we only have a couple of seconds left. Clarissa Vasquez, who has been helping to produce us tonight, she has a show coming on Hazy Radio. It's called Periscope Radio, and her guest is Eric Werner. And they're going to be talking about sex and the occult. Ooh. Maybe Sarah will hang up and listen to their show. Sarah, have you ever done a sex in the occult? Any occult involvement, Sarah? You've been in
Yeah, just a little dabbling here and there.
Really? You've done some dabbling? Oh, my goodness. Okay. All right. We'll be right back after this message. We're staying on all the other stations, Wolf Spirit, and Awake, and Awake US, Awake.UK, and all the other ones are hanging out with us. But good old Clarissa. Clarissa, you want to say a couple of words and plug your show? Because I want to thank you for oh, she's here.
I am here.
Thank you so much, Clarissa. Tell us about the show you got coming up.
Periscope Uncensored airs live every Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, here on the Hazy Radio Network. And as you mentioned earlier, tonight's guest is Eric Werner, talking about sex and the occult. So join Doug Engler and I here in about 50 seconds for Periscope Uncensored.
All right, great. What do you got coming up next week?
Next week on Periscope Uncensored, we're going to have A.K. Kirkendall talking about his book, The Conspirator's Odyssey.
Okay, great. This is all stuff I've never heard of.
This is Wolf Spirit Radio.
All right, I will tune in.
The Opperman Report. Join
I'm
digital
just
forensic
running the
investigator
end
PI
just
Ed
to
Opperman
keep
for an
that
in-depth
tape and then
discussion
start a
of
new one.
Conspiracy
Okay,
theories,
great. So we're going to take a break here with
strategy
commercials and
of
promos and stuff like that.
resistance,
Clarissa Vasquez, the first show coming up, and then we're going to have a little bit more Sara Jane Woodall.
Guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report with Ed Opperman.